Locked on, we ain't gonna stop 'cause you tell us to.
Speaking of the COVID, is it still going round?
Locked on, we ain't gonna stop 'cause you tell us to.
Locked on, we ain't gonna stop 'cause you tell us to.
Speaking of the COVID, is it still going round?
Locked on, we ain't gonna stop 'cause you tell us to.
Speaking of the COVID, is it still going round?
Welcome to our virtual theatre. We're delighted to have you here with us this evening. The Elders are a group of theatre makers based in Dunleary Rathdown area. They've been making theatre together for over 2 years now, often site specifically, and sometimes in DLR Mill Theatre, who've been really supportive to us over the years. We've in the past been funded by Creative Ireland and Dunleary Rathdown County Council. This time round, we're funded by Arts Council Ireland, and we've been working entirely virtually, which is really a new experience for all of us. The group have made 3 pieces, which we're showing over 3 separate evenings. So last night we had a film by Aileen, Joe and Margaret. Tonight we have a live performance by Andrew, Ethna, Nuala and Shabnam. It's called Cabined, Cribb'd, Confin'd. They took some inspiration from some plays that we studied in our last project, so you might see some influences. Please make sure that you are sitting comfortably. Your mobile phone is switched off and out of reach. Take note of your fire exits, your front door, and possibly your back door. And make sure you're watching in full screen. Please join us for the Q&A after the show. We don't have the live audience engagement that we usually do, so we'd really love for you to stay for the Q&A, post some questions and comments, and the cast will be back for a chat.
Shakespeare's Scottish play, Act 3, Scene 4. Then comes my fit again. I had else been perfect, but now I'm cabined, cribbed, confined, bound into saucy doubts and fears.
The name's Bosco. A bit of a social pariah, I am. Why? It's a long story. Let's not get into that. When I worked security for a cot in Sligo on the Tullycrine estate, I came across a derelict cottage next to the dower house. I discovered it had a fortified room full of weird boxes. I thought to myself, no one could possibly escape from this room. I imagined myself there in complete control. I took to living in the cottage. Eventually, I found someone who needed a place to stay. She came in of her own accord. She will never leave. Let's meet the people who were in the dower house.
I'm Grania. It all started at a marketing event to promote my father's company. All the media were there, including photographers dying for glossy photos. My father quietly took me aside. He said, Grania, I'm going to introduce you to a rising man on our staff, Lord Jason McDermott. I want you to get to know him. I knew exactly what he meant. And when I saw Jason, our eyes locked. We were both smitten. We spent the entire day together. And even though he was married, we became lovers. The aristocrat and the millionaire's daughter. Cameras flashed. We were a big news item. For that one time, I didn't mind bowing to my father's will. But that was all a long time ago.
I'm Jason McDermott, formerly of Tullycrine Castle in Sligo. My father had to sell the old place. He had cash flow problems. It became a retreat for some kind of mystical cult. But I kept the dower house next door to the castle. It was a holiday home for my wife, Maddie, and me when she came to Ireland. Maddie was from Zanzibar. That's where we met. She helped me when I was based there buying spices. We had a romantic little ceremony on a beach and set up home together. We had twin boys, Morris and Pierce. But I soon realized that Maddie's personality was not good for my business career. I overheard people saying that she was fiery and unstable. My boss back in Dublin, he's a multimillionaire. He introduced me to his daughter, Grania. She was dazzlingly pretty and had an easy, flirtatious personality, good social standing. I fell for her. Then along came the lockdown. The ban on travel was good for our affair. I knew Maddie couldn't come to Ireland. She needed me to get her a visa. So we hid away together, Grania and me, in the dower house in Sligo with its beautiful garden. We were not to know then that we'd be locked in together forever. I cast my mind back to that time and relive every moment. We were young then, of course. Don't you love this, Grania? The peace and quiet, away from the stress, the hustle and bustle of city life.
Yeah, but I love city as well.
Now look at this. I've often thought of becoming a Buddhist. We could go to Sri Lanka, you know, later on. I could show you some of the temples.
Sri Lanka. Jason, I think you'd like Las Vegas. The casinos, the nightlife. Let's go there. We'll have a blast.
Maybe, honey, but look at these. These are all the places I've been in the spice trade. India, China, Tanzania, Mauritius.
Crikey, Jason. Why on earth would you go to those places? Miles away from anywhere and backward mostly.
Backward? Are you serious, Grania? The wealth of culture in all those places, it's beyond belief.
I suppose I hadn't thought about it. Of course, you're right. We'll go there someday. What on earth are those about? Did your wife put them there?
She did, actually, but...
Thought so. First thing I'd do would be dump them.
It was my idea. Don't you see, Grania, that this garden, it's life and nature. The wheels are freedom and mobility. The importance of being able to travel, to see other cultures, experience their food, see how they live their lives.
They have come to hate each other now. He gave up everything to be with her. His wife, his children. But then he wanted a grand life. So he lied to himself, convinced himself that marrying the boss's daughter would improve his stature in the company, improve his status in life. But she has seen beyond the glamour and his false bravado.
If you hadn't looked at me that day.
Oh, every day. Even in my dreams, I get no respite. I ask myself why I ever let my eyes look into yours.
No, you did not look into my eyes. You saw my dress, my wealth, my father's company. Don't try to fool me.
Oh, I wanted you, Grania, but all the time I've spent here with you has been hell for me.
Hell for you?
I need my boys. I want to see my children.
Your children? You haven't thought about them until now, have you? Have you?
The best. I wanted the best for them.
Oh, a strange best they have now.
Oh, stop. Can't you ever stop?
You'd like me to. A traitor to everything. It's what you are.
I can't stand this.
Nor can I. I'm going. I'm leaving.
No one is going anywhere. No one is going outside the boundaries of their own house.
That must lead to the cottage next door. I saw it from the upstairs window. I saw a room with beautiful boxes. I will go in. Hello? Hello? I'm Grania, your new neighbour from next door.
Ah, Grania. How nice. Bosco was the name.
I couldn't help noticing those amazing boxes through the window. I'm fascinated.
Fascinating, yes. Created from nothing. Come inside, Grania. Meet the lady of the room. Our neighbor Grania has come to see the boxes. Go in, Grania. Explore. There's no hurry. We have all the time in the world.
Please come in, Grania. Would you like to sit down? Then I can show you the boxes.
Oh, that would be wonderful. I really feel in need of a little peace. I'm feeling quite stressed.
Stressed? I'm assuming there's a man at the back of it then.
How did you know that?
So I'm right, because there always is.
Yes, a man. Aristocrat, intellectual, everything I want. That deep, powerful voice, I couldn't resist him, even though he was married with children. No matter what I did, I was never going to replace them. He's still mad about his children.
His children? His children? And what about his wife? Is Jason still in love with his wife?
What did you say? I never told you his name was Jason. I deliberately never told you that.
Oh, I'm sorry that I upset you. It's just I didn't recognize you at first, and then I remembered you're pictured on my news feed. You look so spectacular together. And it said that he was once lord of the estate here at Telecrime.
Oh, I apologize. I'm so on edge these days. But I'm really amazed and fascinated by these boxes. They look so complex.
I've been spending a lot of time in this room, Grania. They're becoming my life, my world now. You see the red one? That's for dancing in it. I use it to energize. I dress outrageously and dance in it. Red is the start of everything.
It is?
Fire, passion, romance, blood, all red. The yellow is the color of the sun, the warmest of them all. I put the hens in there so the baby chicks can hatch.
Baby chicks, how cute.
Yes, cute. They don't survive for very long in there, unfortunately. They just don't survive.
Oh dear, what a pity. That black one, it looks impressive.
That contains the most advanced, sophisticated technology in the world. It controls everything in this room.
In contrast to the blue, it looks like bedlam.
Bedlam, yes, in here. Blue is the color opposite to black. I slipped into the blue once, got lost inside. The colors change, you see, to indigo, Prussian, purple. Yes, very dark inside.
Oh, I thought the grey would be the darkest.
Grey one is not dark, no. I spend a lot of time in the grey.
What do you do in there?
I decide in there. Justice must be done, Grania.
I see. Well, thank you for showing them to me, but I want to go now. Where's the door? It was over there. It's gone, gone. How could it have disappeared?
Aha. That's because guests have to leave the room through one of the boxes, Gronia. That's the way this room is designed.
But I don't know. I don't know which one is for me. Tell me which is for me.
You wanted peace, so go into the white one.
Beware of what you want.
Hello. There you are. I'm looking for my friend Grania. She's been missing for some time. I saw her coming towards this house. I need to find her.
Well, my partner was speaking with someone earlier. They went inside to explore the boxes. Come through here. Just follow me. Lady, can you come out, please?
Hello, Jason.
Maddie? Oh my God, what are you doing here? You weren't allowed to travel. You had no visa.
I had to find
Get
you.
here.
I had to find you, Jason. I had to talk to you face to face.
Oh,
We were
I'm
soulmates, remember?
so sorry, Maddie, but
You vowed you'd never leave me. Your woman Gronia was in the Dower house. You brought her here.
don't listen to her. There's something I have to tell you.
You vowed you'd never leave me. You said you'd stay together forever. Is your word so meaningless?
You just let me explain.
I thought something had happened to you. You didn't contact us for a month. Your wife and your children.
Oh, where are they, Maddie? Where are my beautiful sons? Let's go back home to them together. It was madness what I did, the biggest mistake of my life. Can we go back, Maddie?
Go back. Go back. You don't even know where your children are. How could you know?
What haven't you told me? What have you done?
They're in the sea, Jason, in the sea. A boat was to bring us, but it capsized. Our boat capsized, and the children were drowned in the sea. I couldn't reach them. They just floated away.
Tell me it's not true, Maddie.
They're gone, Jason, gone. One red, one blue, life jackets floating on the sea, farther and farther away from me. I clung onto the boat and was rescued. I was saved, but we couldn't reach them. No one can reach them now, Jason. Nobody.
My pretty chickens, my beautiful sons. The pain is unbearable. Oh, hell, Kite. Why didn't you come alone, Maddie? That perilous journey, you brought them to their deaths.
So it's my fault now. I risked my life to come and find you. And then I find you're shacked up with some fancy woman. And now you blame me for the death of your sons.
Woman, I cannot bear to look at your face. You're not a woman, you're a witch. Let me run from you. I wish never to see you again for as long as I live.
You tried to escape from me again, Jason. But there is no escape for you now. You're destined to live in this room with me forever. And look at my face. Me, Maddie, your wife. And I will be a constant reminder of the fate of our beautiful children.
No, do not punish me more. I do not deserve it. I beg forgiveness. Oh, God above, look down on me and save me from this monstrous fate.
I will give you a choice, Jason. If you enter the white box, you will have everlasting peace.
Then show me, please. Anything would be better than to look at this face that has caused the death of my beautiful sons.
Once you go in there, you don't come back.
Lead me to it, damn you. My heart is broken. There is nothing left for me now. I welcome peace.
Beware what you want.
And so Jason entered the white box. He will meet Grania there. Oh dear, I didn't tell him that. But after all, it was what they both wanted, wasn't it? Peace. Maddie remains with me here in my kingdom. She will never leave her boxes. Perhaps you will visit us next time you go to the Tullycrine estate. Just pass through the garden gate and knock on the box room door.
Cabined, cribbed, confined.
Okay, welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for staying with us and watching our live performance this evening. So I'm going to welcome back in the cast now. So if you just bear with me here, I'm going to bring them back in. Oh, great. Grania's in already. Lovely. Hi, Ethna. And Andrew's in. Brilliant. You're bringing yourselves in. Wonderful. Great. Nuala, can you get back in? And Shabnam? Excellent. Less work for me. Great. So if anyone has any questions or comments, if you want to pop them into the Q&A box at the bottom of the screen there, or the chat box, I can field those questions to our cast and we can have a post-show discussion as such. So thanks, Lynn Pasley. She's saying well done all there. And I can see that we have almost 80 viewers this evening, so huge audience for all of you. So Joanna Parks is saying hi, Grant.
Well done, everybody.
So well done, everyone. So maybe you'd like to talk a little bit about where your piece came from, if one of you would like to start that off, how it all began. Whoops.
Yeah, I'll start actually, because it came in first. Well, sort of. We read the play Medea, the Greek play by Euripides, and that was about Medea, who was married to Jason, and Jason, they ended up in another country, and to improve their status, he married the king's daughter. And Medea was so jealous and so distraught that she killed his sons in revenge. But this part of the play, it was based, part of it anyway, on the princess herself, and then the relationship which was doomed to end with Jason, and Medea coming back, and it was a version brought up to date, as it were. So that's that part of it anyway.
And I have a few questions to do with the virtual experience. So unlike last night, where the ladies actually did meet in a room together and filmed their piece, you guys stayed in your separate areas. So how was that for you? What were the challenges of rehearsing virtually, like in this situation?
What do you think? It It was difficult. It would have been nicer, obviously, to meet up because there was an awful lot of emails and a lot more work, I think, involved. There's a huge amount of emails going back and forth. And in a discussion, you would probably get it sorted very, very quickly. And the communication had to go to everybody and waiting for everybody to respond because obviously everybody isn't watching their emails the whole time. That was a big thing. And I suppose it's a very different experience to the experience we've had in the live performances. We got used to it though, I think, didn't we? And yeah, it was hard. It was hard work. I think it was harder work than normal. What does anybody else think, Andrew?
Part of it is that you're doing your own tech as you're going along in the performance. So you're bringing yourself in and out on your computer, hoping you get the right button at the right time. So that's certainly been a learning experience, quite extraordinary, and hopefully it'll be of benefit for other things days to come.
Yeah, so this cast had a lot to do in terms of technicalities, because they were switching their cameras on and off, they were changing their backgrounds, they were changing costume. So this was all happening in that short space of time. So they had a lot of things going on. They had to divide their brains into lots of different sections. So they did really well to manage to get all of that going together and really smoothly. So I have Breed saying it had an effect. It was quite scary. So yeah, there was a bit scary there, Nuala, from you especially.
I think that might have been intentional, all right.
And then I have a person saying, whose garden was used for the filming?
The mystery woman.
Hi.
It's a beautiful garden.
We want to talk about those images and how that came about, bringing those images into it.
Yeah. Well, initially, Andrea asked us to write a short piece or something about COVID and lockdown. And this was about 3 months ago. And so I used, rather than write something, I used my garden as a focal point and picked out all the features of the garden that applied to lockdown. For instance, the tile picture was the one of no travel. And the wheels picture, which is I pick up hub wheels from the sides of the road and put it on my wall in the garden. And that was not to drive, to stay at home. And that's how I had done. And the Buddha was, a lot of people turned to religion as well during lockdown. People who never went to mass were complaining that they couldn't go to mass. So the Buddha was to do with the religion. So I had picked all these aspects and made a video of it. And then in the end, when we decided, we were broken up into groups and we got these, 4 of us were put together. Then Andrea, Ethna decided to use bits of Medea, and Andrew decided to use bits of the Scottish play. And Nuala had already part written about the boxes, a very abstract, surreal sort of thing. So we threw them all together, and then I just provided the images, so I got it off very lightly.
So there's a lot of juxtaposition, a lot of putting different things together in this piece, because it was all coming from different areas and different ideas that you were throwing together. So you had quite a challenge actually to find where they all connected, which made it very large and very complex. So how was it in terms of performance? So especially for Ethna and Shabnam and Andrew, I had to get quite argumentative and fiery with each other. So how did you find that on screen with each other?
Well, I don't like being called fiery and unstable.
Sorry about that.
You weren't supposed to hear that bit.
Well, I found that with Jason, because Jason was such a fantastic actor, I thought anyway, and that really made it easier for me, even though, he was on a small screen and you didn't know which way to look, were you looking at, what way. But I found it, well, I've never acted before, so it was terrifying anyway, but I'd expect that.
And I have a note from Joni saying she loves Shabnam's garden.
Well, she'll have to come and see
it. Great. So are you relieved now that you've finished your performance and you've got through it?
Oh yes, yeah, yeah. This afternoon, for me anyway, was
Yeah.
quite terrifying because I began to imagine that my internet would fail or something would happen. Imagine all sorts of catastrophes and everything. Well, and it was a great experience. And Andrea, we wouldn't have done it over for you, couldn't have done it only for you.
So how did you find the adrenaline and the nerves as compared to when you've done a performance in front of a
Yeah,
live
brilliant,
audience?
brilliant.
How does it compare? How does that feeling compare when you're coming?
This is worse. This is harder.
Okay, harder.
Much
Why
much harder. Because I think you if you're on the stage, you're meeting your fellow cast members and you're talking to them and all, and then you do relax a bit. But here you're on your own, sitting there thinking, oh, everything's going to go wrong. I know. So
yeah.
and also the technological part of it is quite, or technical part of it was quite hard for us.
Yeah. What about you, Andrew, Ethna, Nuala? How did you find the experience in terms
I
of
didn't find it too nerve-wracking. I was taking a lot of deep breaths, and even though I knew my lines off by heart, I was kind of still looking at them there just in case, because you might freeze with nerves, you know. But no, I found it all right. I think the screen, I wasn't on. My husband was calling me down. He said I wasn't on in the beginning. I don't know why. I didn't have my glasses on. I thought I'd switched the video on, but anyway. But yeah, I was okay. Lots of deep breaths, I think, lots of deep breathing, and that worked for me. Jason, Andrew?
Well, I think Andrea was just enormously helpful in directing as it went along, because it was hard to know when you're relating just to a little green button on a computer and what's coming on the screen as to what you can do. And I think Andrea just encouraged us to throw everything at it and really try and make it argumentative and try and get it alive in that way. And that kind of gave us liberty to do that, rather than to feel, okay, we need to keep within the little box and keep it calm.
Yeah, but we met every Wednesday, on Zoom with Andrea, and that afternoon was tremendous. We just couldn't have done it. And, it's been a great experience. And then we met in Shabnam's lovely garden and garden room at social distance as well. So the practice wasn't entirely, isolating. And if it hadn't happened and we were doing nothing or just sitting in the garden, and that'd be terrible too. So while it was not as support, it wasn't as experiential as the theatre was, it was still a terrific experience, and I'd really be sorry if I hadn't had it.
Great, thanks, Ethna. Great, so I think that's all the questions. Breed is saying, I thought it fitted together really well. The references worked together and the whole thing flowed. Thanks a million, Breed. And somebody's saying, great show, very sinister, so different from the smiling actors talking now. Didn't bring out your inner demon.
That's a very good point.
So yeah, well, that's a great comment, actually, because that really shows that you all created these characters for yourselves, that were very strong, so that people are seeing really different people on screen now. So thank you for that. So anything that any of you would like to say in closing now, in finishing up this evening's performance?
Well, thanks to you, Andrea, and thanks too to the Arts Council for having the foresight to see that this was a project that really would work and was worth doing. So great credit there.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Andrew. And we've got congratulations from Devon UK, from Thomas. Thank you, Thomas.
Oh.
And Fidelma saying, great what can be achieved during these difficult times. Absolutely. And I think it's really important to keep going and keep the creativity flowing. And I think these guys definitely had lots of creativity flowing throughout the last few months. And we're going to keep it going as we move on to the next project. So well done, guys. Brilliant work. You can all relax now. And hopefully everyone here will join us again.
I don't know if we'll be able to. You're after freezing on me. Pardon?
Hopefully everyone
the screen is after freezing.
Hopefully all the audience here will join us again for tomorrow night's performance from the final group, which is another live performance, and again, completely different. So we've got 3 completely different pieces. So look forward to tomorrow night, and please do join us. Thank you very much, everyone. Well done to all of you.
Thank you. Thank you all for watching.